Black Friday. This week on Historically Drinking, I'm talking about shopping history with German Christmas markets and their traditional beverage, Glühwein. If you enjoy this kind of content, all booze-soaked history, please subscribe to this channel. All right, let's get started by making the Glühwein. So I have a pot here, and I'm using a California cab for this. I'm using Uppercut. It's a relatively inexpensive California cab. The reason I'm using this is because it has high alcohol. It's 14.5%, and it's fruity. It is a cooked fruit bomb. So the high alcohol I want because we're heating this up. It's going to come to a simmer, and some alcohol could be simmered off. We're going to try and avoid that, but the high alcohol content helps to mitigate that effect. And then the fruitiness is because I want this to be a fruity beverage. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to just put this entire bottle in the pan to be heated up. There we are. Then to this, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of sugar. Here we go. And then also 1/4 cup of Grand Marnier. So Grand Marnier is an orange liqueur made with cognac. Using a cognac or another brandy for this would work really well also. I like adding the orange flavor that's in here to the drink. There we go. And then we need 2 cinnamon sticks. 1, 2, 8 cloves. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 cloves. And then I'm going to use the skin of 1 lemon. Now, often in recipes, you'll find that they call for orange peel. I'm using the lemon because I used the Grand Marnier in here, so the Grand Marnier is really giving it a good deal of orange flavor already. I actually want the higher, the more sour quality of the lemon peel in here to counteract some of that sweetness from the orange. Now, I'm doing a terrible job peeling this lemon peel. Normally, you don't want to get all this white pith when you peel, which I did. I don't know. It's probably time for a new peeler. And now I am going to run off screen so that I can put this on the stove. I'm going to squeeze the juice of this lemon in really quick, and then I'll be right back with the batch that I already have heated and ready to go on the stove. Give me just a moment. All right, so I finished this batch after I brought it to a simmer, and then I strained all of the ingredients out. You can run it through just a regular kitchen, like a fine kitchen strainer, or you can even put it through cheesecloth, and that'll get all the stuff out for you. But let's try some of it. It smells good, and the whole house smells so good from having this cooking on the stove. Oh, that is fantastic. Ooh, steaming up my glasses. Yeah, that is really good. This is so nice to have on your stove, just going all day. And you want to make sure that you don't boil it. Because like I said before, you'll boil off that alcohol. And we want the alcohol in it. So bring it to just under a simmer and just keep it there. Or even you can put it in a crock pot and just keep it on the low setting on the crock pot, and that'll keep it at the perfect temperature and just ready for you to scoop it up whenever you want some. So Glühwein, what is the name? Well, Glüh, which I am so sorry, I am certain that I am mispronouncing it, and I will mispronounce other words during the course of this history. I'm doing my best, I'm trying. So Glüh means glow in German, which could have come from because it's heated up, or it could even come from the wonderful glow that we get when we drink this warm alcoholic beverage. And then the second part of the word Wein means wine. So hot wine is probably a pretty good interpretation of it. This Glühwein is traditionally served at German Christmas markets. These Christmas markets happen during Advent, and they don't just happen in Germany and Austria and the region in general over there. They happen all over the world in places where there are German immigrant communities. When it happens is during Advent, which is it covers the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. And this is a time when Christians anticipate the birth of the Christ child, but they also mull over the future second coming of Christ. You might have heard of these German Christmas markets referred to as a Christkindl market, which means Christ child market, or even a Weihnachtsmarkt, which the meaning is Holy Night Market. Weihnachtsmarkt, nothing to do with wine, but it's close enough. So the traditional German markets really looked the same as the German Christmas markets do today. They had many stalls, and they would be decorated for Christmas with a big, huge Christmas tree and a big, huge nativity. And the stalls would be selling food and drink, like our Glühwein, and selling Christmas goods, Christmas decorations, presents. In hundreds of years ago, they were doing this, and right now they're doing the same thing. The oldest official Christmas market may have been in Dresden. There is one there going today that started in 1434. But before they were officially Christmas markets, there were December markets that were the same thing that were held in Germany and the region. Those go back even before then, perhaps into the 13th century. Now, our mulled wine goes back yet even further historically. If you have seen my episode on the first wave of the plague when it hit Italy and what they were drinking then, they were drinking Hippocras, which was essentially mulled wine, and they would drink it hot or cold in a recipe not too different from this one. And this Hippocras goes all the way back to the time of the Romans. So this mulled drink, has a heritage that goes back centuries and centuries and centuries. The question that I couldn't find an answer to while I was doing research for this episode, well, there's 2 questions. One is, what wine do they use currently in Germany in their Christmas markets to make mulled wine with? I'm wondering if they have like a specific varietal or a specific place that they get the wine from. And then similar to that, I'm wondering what was used historically. And why I really have this question is because the wine, it's red wine is what Glühwein is made with. And what makes the most sense to me is a high alcohol, very fruity, like cooked fruit wine. And that's not what German wines are at all. I mean, first of all, they are mostly white and they do not have a high alcohol content. They have a lower alcohol content. They do have fruity wines, but they tend to be more crisp, fresh fruit than cooked fruit like this one. So I'm really curious what they were doing back in the day to make this drink. If it would have even have looked like this, or maybe they were making mulled wine with a white wine or more traditional local wine. If anybody has any insight into that, I would love to hear what you have to say. The other thing that I'm super interested in is family recipes for Glühwein or for mulled wine in general. I had one viewer send me her grandfather's before this recording, and it's really cool to read not just the ingredients, but also like handwritten recipes and instructions on how to make them. It's really, really fascinating for me. So if you have a family recipe that you would like to share, I would absolutely love to see that recipe. And let me know if you're okay with it being public. All right. Well, as always, I accept tips at Venmo. You can find me at saralm-mengoni. And if you liked this content and you would like more just like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then the notification bell. Thank you. Cheers. See you next week.